Thank you for staying with us. This is Entertainment Thursday right here on Good Morning Kenya. As usual, Unique had promised us great music and he is doing exactly that. Now we are getting into our interview segment, and by now maybe you might be having an idea of who we have on set. I have with me a Grammy winner, an Academy member, a top producer, top songwriter, I mean one of the most celebrated and decorated guitarists we have, not just in the 254, but in the entire Africa. I am talking about the one, the only, the man you're seeing on your screens right now, Fancy Fingers.
What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vivian.
How
are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Amazing to be here. Super, doing
great to have you back. It's
Thank
good
you.
that you kept your word. You promised that you were going to come back on the show.
100%. And
you're
here
a
I am,
man of your word.
in flesh and blood.
Yes. We have to commend you on the luku.
Oh, thank you.
If you know, you know. Haizi angusha kwa luku. If you know, you know.
Unajua naibaridi lazima, you have to feel hot for yourself.
Oh.
So. Yes, you look dashed in yourself, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I try.
Yes.
No
yes.
kogeria man. Anyway, you are here, you're back on the show, and we're glad to have you. If I may just begin by asking you to tell us your most, the experience you remember about music from way back. How old were you, and what was
like my
that
first
experience or interaction with music?
Ooh, Gio, that's a deep question. Let me see.
Yeah.
Wow, that I remember, I think would be my dad playing a lot of music from so like Ohangla music, and a lot of also Congolese music. And the memory that sticks with me is when my uncle, who was living in America then, sent this huge system from America, an Iowa radio system, and it was, the speakers were huge, and it was just like, wow, like it was just, the sound that came out of that was so good. Yeah, so I used to play like my dad's records, because at that time, I mean, I didn't know much about music, so whatever I could absorb from what my parents played, especially my dad, who was a lover of music, is what I absorbed. So that's my first memory of music, is seeing that system and hearing the sound coming out of the system and just how beautiful it was. Yeah, that was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that that experience kind of like shaped the line you took?
Yes, it did, because I mean, we were lucky to have such a good system, because we come from humble beginnings. I grew up in Karibangi, and having that kind of system was like, wow, this is amazing. The sonics were on point, and yeah, the influence from my dad, what the music he used to play in school, made me love music. And then when I went to school now, properly primary school, music was my favorite subject, so I just started loving it. Everything was around music. I had this Casio keyboard that I used to borrow from my best friend then, called Didi, and I just borrowed it, and then I put the radio on, just listen to music and play by ear, just try to emulate whatever I'm listening to. And just my love for music has just been, since then, it's been everything, really. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And I have to ask this question before we get into you as a solo artist. You know, as Sauti Soul, you've given us great music for years and years on
and
end.
we still are.
And you still are.
Not
so
stopping,
the question is, are you guys completely like never gonna work together as a unit? Or are we going to keep getting, you know, Sauti Soul releases?
So the thing is, what happened, as we clearly stated out there in the public, is we are taking a hiatus. We've been together for 20 years. Yeah. And that's a long, long time. And it just felt right at this time. We had spoken about it actually, like about maybe 5-6 years ago, that a time like this would come, when we didn't know it was going to be like this, but we knew we needed a kind of like a break from each other, just to advance ourselves as individuals. Some people wanted to go to school, some people wanted to just take a break, some people wanted to do just their own stuff. And like Vivian, we've been together all our adult life.
Yeah, since high school.
So the other three were in high school together. I was still called to the same high school, I just didn't go there. And then after that, we hooked up. And like all my adult life, all of the four of us, that's all we've known. And it happened at the right time, because I always feel like Sauti Sol is like a match made in heaven. And everything is already pre-planned. We don't even know. Like, it was already pre-planned by God. Like, this is how exactly it's going to be. And this is the right time. We are all very mature, age and musically as well. Yeah, and it just felt right. We even lived together in the same house for almost 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, apart from being together, we were like together.
Yeah.
You understand? So people just needed a bit of space to really grow. And what that does, it benefits the band even more. And what we came to realize is actually all successful bands go through this stage where you actually take a break and you grow as an individual. And when you come back, it's like fireworks, because everyone has really grown leaps and bounds. You know, you're not dependent sometimes on someone doing something. So you're within yourself, really working hard. I'm not saying you're not working hard within the group, you are. But now you do things, because in a group you have roles. So you know, Polycarp is going to do that, Chimano is going to do that, Bien's going to do that, Savara. But as a solo artist, which you've never experienced, is you have to be like full on, 100%. Yeah, in the music video, you went on stage, you wouldn't say, Chimano will be the one in the front performing and everything, and May can just be a supporting. Like, it doesn't work like that. And what that does is now when we get back together, which we will, it's just going to be much more respect for each other. Music is going to be amazing. And we're still working together. Like, we're still, even I slept late last night working on Bien's song, for example. So we're still in it together. Still together, yes.
Yeah, so it's just a hiatus. You're going to come back together as a unit. Now, from the time you released Mwanzo, which was your first album in Sauti Sol, did you know, as personally as Fancy, did you know that there was going to be a time where you'll now be releasing solo albums, like your own albums?
I wouldn't say, no. At that time, you know, we were not thinking anything like that, to be honest. We were just, you see, we live life in the moment. Yeah, so you don't want to dwell so much on the future, because we have no control of the future. So at that time, we were just deeply immersed in what we were doing, which was being together. Our first project being Mwanzo, and it was like the most amazing thing at that time. We actually launched it right across the road at Museum Hill, at the museum actually. Yeah, so I mean, that time we were just deeply immersed in what we were doing Mwanzo. It was our first record, first time in studio, first time for everything. So it was just a very exciting time that you do not think, at that time you're just beginning, so you don't know where you're going. So you're just doing your best at that point in time.
So Fancy Fingers now, several albums later, your own albums, you know, away from the group. What does Fancy know now that you wish you knew back then that probably would be a great lesson for someone who's just starting out?
The one thing that I always say is time is everything. Like, when you say time is money, time is just... Time makes you who you are. And when you're younger, you don't realize how much time you have, really, because, I mean, that time when we were doing Mwanzo time, we used to stay at, two of us used to go to Alliance Française to do French. Bien was doing, so that's me and Chimano doing French. Bien was doing computers at IAT, a place called IAT. I don't know if it still exists. And then Savara was in Egerton University, but then he came back to Nairobi to be at Nazarene. And just that time, we just had so much time, but we didn't realize, because I just had one class a day. At 10 a.m., I'm done by 11:30, and I have the rest of the day, which we did put it to use. I don't mean we didn't put it to use. We were like always together after classes, just at the Alliance stairs, inside and outside, jamming the whole day until 9 p.m. But as you grow older, you get more responsibilities, you know, there's more work, you're getting more into business and all of that. So I'd say in your younger years, as you're building, like, just be a slave to your craft, because that time goes. As you grow older, there's like literally no time. Like, now I have a family. I have, I don't know how many businesses I'm working on. I have Sauti businesses as well. Like, there's so much happening that time to work on your craft is so minimal. You have to really curate it and say, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. to just practice my guitar, because it's practice. Because music is it's like an athlete. We treat music like we are athletes, and an athlete practices every day, no matter what. You will not, because Messi is the best footballer, he will not sit down in the house and say, I'm the best and I'm not going to practice. He practices even harder than someone younger who's coming up.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality we have.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope that they've gotten that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite time to create music? Do you have a particular time? Maybe at night?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It depends, to be honest. At night, used to be, up until it stopped being, what's the word, functional, I'd say. Because, I mean, artists, most of us like working at night into late night.
Yeah.
And then the next day you have to sleep in because you're tired, of course. And then the day goes, by the time you wake up, it's noon. And you know, once it's noon, the day's gone. So I just put a cap. Nighttime is usually great, but I put a cap. I'd say maybe by midnight I'm done, depending on the vibes, though. Sometimes you don't know what's going to come. But usually it's because nighttime is quiet. You know, you've gone through the day, and music is that release that you want to give yourself in the evening. But also in the morning is also great for me. I'm a morning person, so sometimes I can work in the morning as well. There's a sweet spot like from, I'd say 4 p.m. to like 10 p.m. is a sweet spot for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I know when you were here last time we talked about love language, but we definitely have to talk about it again,
no
you
problem.
know, and get much deeper into it.
Yeah.
Love Language is your latest album.
Yeah.
It's such a great one, by the way. I love the concept behind it.
Yeah.
So for someone who maybe wasn't tuned in, then if you can just tell us the concept behind Love Language, because you've worked, it's a collaborative, you know, work of art whereby you've worked with only women in the album. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so Love Language, as you say, is a collaborative album, only female artists across the continent. Reason for that, I mean, there are many reasons. It just came to be because when we took our hiatus, I was doing a lot of work because there are different facets of me. So there's the producer side, there's songwriter, there's a guitarist, there's engineer, there's music director, there's just many things. And so in these things, I was just delving into them and trying to find, you know, trying to do some work in each and every one of them. And with production, I mean, I've produced most, if not all, of our work, Sauti Soul. And in Sauti Soul, there's really no time, like, to work with other people. Like, it's very minimal. And now, after we took our hiatus, I was like, let me get into doing my own stuff. So I started working with different people. And I realized I was just working with a lot of female artists because with time now, I realized that it's, I mean, I always knew, of course, that it's not as easy for female artists in the industry as it is for men. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's a very male-dominated industry, first of all. Females need a lot of trust when they're working with you. For obvious reasons, of course. And I just felt like that would be something great that I can do as a kind of like a big brother in the industry, been here for a while. And I just wanted to really prime these artists, female artists especially, and put them in a place where they're supposed to be. And yeah, and that's why I did the album. Just at least they can have the head above water in the industry. I'm not saying they don't have, it's just way more harder, like difficult for female artists to just be great. Like even now, if I tell you, name me 5, even 10, top 10 female artists in Africa. Yeah. Like you will take time. Yeah, but male artists you will be quick to mention. Yeah. But then the amazing female, like way better than us by far. Yeah, and
I love that you say that, because I've interacted with many female artists in this industry, and they speak the same language, that it's much harder for them. They need to work 10 times harder than their male counterparts for them to be, you know, where they're supposed to be, even if they are also just as great, you know. But there's an artist we hosted here, I won't mention his name, but he said that he feels like it's easier for the females because of the pretty privilege.
I mean, I guess it's two sides to the coin, to be honest. Probably, yeah, if I don't know. Yeah, I mean, women are beautiful. So
yes, we are.
To both men and women, like you all look like wow, like you're beautiful. So that's just how you're built as women. And I wouldn't say it's a factor, because it could be something that's a big plus, but at the same time, there's so many other bigger obstacles that kind of counter that plus, that is a plus in quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even for male artists, I'm sure some would tell you, man, it's so hard. I have to work so much harder. I have to do things that a female artist can't do. So for example, if I sign a female artist, there's some things that I cannot do for her, but a male artist can. Let's say put a male artist on a bus to go to Eldoret to perform. I will not do that to a female. Like, it'll be like, yeah, let's find a flight, let's do this. So it just comes with its territory. Both are different. But in general, just female artists need more.
They find it harder.
Yeah, it's just harder because it's a very male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
People want favors,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just not it, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, so from the album, I think I told you this last time,
Yeah.
my favorite has to be the one you featured, Lisa,
Yes, I remember.
that is Nyathi Dala.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how Nyathi Dala came to be?
Yeah, so that one actually made it in the morning, a time like this. I had the melody in my head as I was sleeping. So I woke up quickly, ran to the studios like, I need to lay this down. And I laid it down. And I wanted a song in the album that had a Luo touch, because I'm Luo myself. And I'm doing a Luo project separately.
There's just something about Luo songs, though.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, no, it's true. It's true,
There's
yeah.
just something about Luo
And
songs.
it's true. It's a time right now when Luo artists are doing like this urban vibe as well. Luo music in an urban style. And it's just very appealing to the whole country, you know.
Yes.
It just feels, it sounds so good when it's sung.
Yeah.
And yeah, just been on that tip also. I have a separate project that's a Luo project, but then I wanted a Luo touch in the album. And I wrote the song. So I wrote the verse and the chorus. And it was very neo-soul-like and very soulful. And the first person that came to mind was Lisa. So I literally contacted her immediately. I did the song in the morning for like maybe 3 hours. Was done. And then I sent it to her. Excuse me, I sent it to her and she was very excited. She was like, yeah, I'm down for this. Let's do it. But it was December. She was very busy. If you know Lisa, she gigs like 5 gigs a week or something like that. So I was like, no, I'll wait until January when you're done and we can record. And the song is about Nyathi Dala is direct translation is girl from the village.
Okay.
So in the song, I'm just falling in love with this girl from the village, and I'm telling her, I will take care of you. Let's just come to the city, stay with me, and all will be well. Yeah.
I don't know if this is advice that guys should take akina Unique, because as you say, Nairobi.
Nairobi.
Ni kama itabidi mnaendea watu. Mwende Dala.
Kienyeji for life. Kienyeji for life.
Yeah, and just before we go on with the interview, by the way, Fancy has an event coming up tomorrow. It's called the Fancy Experience. The lineup. Bro,
yeah, it's fire.
The lineup of that show, you do not want to miss this show. I will do what I have to do to be there. And we have tickets for you guys. We have 3 pairs of tickets. We'll have 3 winners, and each winner will get 2 tickets. All right, so unakuwa na +1. Unaweza leta mtu wako ama beshte yako, right? So we have questions. I'll just read out the questions, then we continue with the interview. Mukifikiria maswali. Majibu, that is. All right, so the first question we have is, how many songs are on the Love Language album? This album that we're just talking about, right now, rather. How many songs are in that album? That is question 1. Are you be together?
Do I even know how many songs in the album?
Number 2, kama yeye mwenyewe hajui, itabidi umepatia kila mtu ticket.
But nowadays it's not fair. Everyone can just Google quickly. Anyway.
Number 2, wacha kuwapatia Kenya, bro.
Tips, not tips.
Number 2, how many albums does he have? And the names of the album, not from Sauti Soul, just as Fancy Fingers. How many albums does Fancy Fingers have? And what are the names of these albums? And number 3, the last question, your favorite line from the songs on the album. Pick whichever song on the album, find us a line, tell us that line. Sawa sawa?
Keep it PG.
Jukuna wimbo. Kwanza featuring Femi One. Just do you. Give us your favorite line from the songs on the album. Make sure you tag at It's Fancy Fingers.
It's me, Fancy Fingers.
Oh, it's me, Fancy Fingers. At It's Me, Fancy Fingers. Tag him and put the hashtag the Fancy experience. We'll be looking out for that. I also posted it on my stories.
Okay.
So you can also check it out. Vivian Ndegwa on my stories, and it's also been posted on the KBC page, that is the Facebook page on KBC. Just go there, give us your answer, and you will get tickets to the fancy experience. All right, now back to Love Language, the album. How did you settle on who to work with? Because you've worked with an array of artists, you know, from all over Africa. And all of them are greats, you know. So how did you pick, because there are many greats. So how did you pick on who to work with? How did you settle on Karun? How did you settle? I love the song with Nirai.
It's you. Yeah,
I love it.
It's really loved, to be honest, in Kenya. So I mean, all the artists there are my favorite artists, to be honest. And it's people that I've wanted to work with. Some that I've had a previous relationship with, like a friend relationship with. And I spoke to more than the artist in the album. I was gonna say the number of the artists in the album, but I did so many more artists than they are in the album. Some, I don't know if I mentioned last time, I lost some files, unfortunately. So I lost some songs in between.
I don't think you told us that.
Yeah, in between the process of recording. So those were just too strenuous to redo. And I just put them on the side, but I'm going to redo them. But I was just picking people that I really love in the continent, and some that were also ready to work. And yeah, that was just it, to be honest. I just really studied each and every artist, went to their repertoire, listened to their music, and kind of curated a sound that would fit each one of them. And I mean, I was quite lucky. I mean, it's a good thing that I'm a producer as well, so I understand these things. And every song that I sent to the artists, there's no one who said, this doesn't fit me, send me another one. Literally all of them, because usually it takes time. Like you have to send like maybe 3 tracks or 3 songs for someone to say, I like this one. But I'd say 98% of the album, all the artists were like, this is perfect for me. This is great. So that was a blessing, to be honest.
And from the album, you know, which song would you say was the hardest for you to complete, and which one was the easiest? Like you just started and you finished, and maybe what made it easier and what made it harder?
The hardest to complete, which is one of my favorites, was, funny enough, it's like a paradox, because it was the easiest to record. But because I lost the files and I loved it so much, I was like, I'm not letting this go. So this is the song Set Me Free with Raspy. So I did the song like last year in February when I was in South Africa. And I did the song, recorded it. And then last year now, when I lost my hard drive, just misplaced my hard drive that I had everything in there. And I'm not backed up in the cloud. I know, stupid me, lessons. But it's because I was on tour and I was saying, I'm going to back it up. But I just never got to it, and I lost the files at the end. So I had to get a couple of people to re-record. So Raspy, Freya, who else re-recorded? Yeah, those two mostly. And Raspy was just not in a... we know what you're listening to.
My bad.
It's allowed. And then, so Raspy was not in a space, because you see, music is a moment. And sometimes a moment gets lost. Because when we recorded the song, it was so instant. Like she was like spontaneous when she recorded it. The feeling was great.
All right, I'll have to cut you short. We have a commercial break. Let's take that break and then we come back. And we are back. Thank you for staying with us. Good morning, Kenya. Entertainment Thursday is the show on air. My name is Vivian Ndegwa, and I am in studio with Fancy Fingers. Before we took that commercial break, Fancy was just explaining to us, you know, the hardest from the album, the hardest song from the album to make. You know, and you get, after the hardest, you get to the easiest.
So as I was saying, the song with Raspy, Set Me Free, mostly because I lost the files and I had to redo it. And when I asked her to redo, she was very willing. But music is a moment, so sometimes to replicate what you did is so hard. It won't be the same. It will be great, but it won't be the same. But I really loved the first time she did it. And she was just not in the same space also. So when she redid it, I was like, yeah, I think I prefer the first one. And what I had to do was use AI
Okay.
to extract the vocals from the previous bounce that I had of the song that was not done. So I just extracted those vocals. And the thing is, it's not of great quality, so I have to really engineer and make it sound good. So that was stressful, but it became what it became.
Yeah.
And people love the song. It's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. The easiest?
Ooh, what's the easiest? I'd say the one with Njerai was very quick. Also something that she had started. So I saw on her TikTok, she had started the song in a way. Because there's a time she was like posting a song every day, just acoustic, unreleased songs, or she was freestyling actually. She's an amazing artist.
I agree.
And they picked that one. I was like, yo, can we do this one? It was not complete. I think it was like 30 seconds on TikTok. So I called her in studio and we sat down, we wrote it. In 2 hours, the song was done.
In 2 hours, it was done.
Done. I never even touched it again. That was the final. It was done.
Wow, I love that because it's such a beautiful song. There's something, you've mentioned AI, and it's also brought me to this question. You know, we are now in the era where AI is here with us. You know, back then it was just something we are foreseeing in the future, but it's now here. Do you feel like it's gonna, it's very scary. Do you think it's going to have an impact, you know, in artists, in the sense that
it
now,
already is.
You know, someone can just replicate Fancy's voice and...
I mean, yeah, people are doing that for sure. I was in LA in February, and I remember meeting one of these top producers, and he has an AI artist that is about to get a record deal.
Wow. What?
Imagine. It's an AI artist that he curated using AI. Created this voice, like, you know, you can mix. I can say, give me 10% of Vivian, give me 20% of Fancy, 30% of Gadoni, like that, and you get someone who sounds like a certain way. You write for them, and yeah, they become an artist, and they stream and they sell.
Will this jeopardize your careers?
Yes and no. So with AI, still the human touch is everything. So you see, with this AI artist, it's like, okay, how do they perform live now? So probably has to be in the metaverse, probably, which you wear something and you're in that space and you watch the concert, which is great. It's a great experience. But still, nothing beats human connection. Like, if I come with a guitar here and I sing for you, like, human connection, nothing will ever beat it.
Why didn't you come with your guitar now that you've mentioned?
Tomorrow.
Fancy,
tomorrow. It's in the morning. My voice is croaky. Excuses. Yeah, but AI is here to really... There's a lot of assistance also that it's giving us, to be honest. Like what I mentioned, what I did before with AI. And there's so many other things that AI is really helping music makers with, like, a lot. Like, there's some things I just would not have done years back, you know. But it's also taking away some jobs. So, for example, well, I'm going to go deep, but the software that I use for recording, that is called, there are many softwares. I use Logic, and they've just introduced a tool where you can master your songs. Like, you can use AI to master your songs. Usually that is someone that you send to and you pay them. And that's how they make a living. So you send to someone, they charge you, and for mastering, mixing is a whole... Even mixing with AI is actually there. So mixing and mastering. But now it's all AI, and it's way cheaper than sometimes even free than getting a person. But then there's just details that you can't get with AI proper when it comes to music, at least. So you can chance it, and sometimes you may fall on something great, but it just has to be... This human connection is everything.
Okay. We just hope that our jobs won't be taken.
I know, right?
Because I saw there's an AI TV presenter already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, there's AI everything now.
There's AI everything.
Yeah, but I think the world is going to circle back to... I was having this conversation with a good friend of mine. Like, as much as technology is advancing and everything, people will really want a human connection. It could be 50 years from now, when now everything will just go back to, like, the old age, to be honest. Like, that's how I feel it's going to be. But let's wait and see. If I'm still here.
Let's just wait and see. Okay, so you have a song that... It is a song that has taken over the airwaves. You are part of the song. You did the refix. That is Kudadi. when I do the
Look like you can dance that song very well.
That song is just pure vibes.
Yes, yes.
Tell me how you got to jump into the Kudade song.
It was honestly, when I tell people this thing, they really don't believe it. So I've always wanted to go to Black Market Records to just jam with those kids. I'm a huge fan of Furthermore, like huge. Like, and it kind of reminds me of a cousin that I have for some weird reason. So there's that like family connection in a way.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love his music. I love how his style. So I've been saying for the past 1 year, I've been talking to Vic West, who's his producer. I was like, I really want to come to Black Market. When can I come? And then I had some time and I went. And I got there and the whole crew was there. And he also had an artist that he wanted me to hear, a young artist that he was signing. And I was like, yeah, let me hear. So I started playing I played actually guitar for that kid. And then now the Furthermore came, Harry Chris came, and the whole crew, Colo Blue, the dancer, Purple Wanja was there. And there's a track that I made. So this is the interesting thing. This track that you hear of Kudade is a track that was meant to be in love language. It is a 3-year-old track.
Wow.
Yeah, that I recorded in the beginning of Alone Together as Sauti Soul. So in the beginning, I just was working on my own stuff now and expressing myself. And that's one of the tracks that I did. It's a whole other song, by the way. It's called Mudhoni.
Oh, yeah.
The song is called Mudhoni.
As we jump to Kudade.
Yeah, just know it was Mudhoni before.
Mudhoni.
The X is Mudhoni. So but I knew that track is so good. You know, with music, for us as musicians, you can get confused that the song can be a hit in your head or in your studio, and then it stops being a hit, and then you think it's not a good song. But then once it's out, people are like, whoa, when did you record this? Did you do this the other day? Yeah, so I played the track. I was like, yeah, I remember this track that would really work well with these kids. So I played it like this. And I kid you not, out of nowhere, Furthermore started. They all started singing Kudade. I was like, what is happening? What is this? Yeah. And it was so accurate that even where the chorus was exactly where it fitted in the track as I played it. And it was a magical moment. I asked my videographer to take the video instantly. You know how I just know it's a moment. It's like, yo, record quickly. Because he's also a music lover. So he was lost in the vibes. He wasn't getting the moment. I was like, take this moment and record the moment. And I just sat with it on my phone for like a week. And then I just started to post on TikTok. At midnight on Saturday, I was in Kilifi. Saturday night, midnight, posted it. Of course, didn't think much of it. Woke up the next morning. My phone has blown up. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. Then it's the song. So the original song had been recorded. That's why they could sing over. It wasn't a freestyle, really. So the original song was recorded, but not released. And now when I put that on, I didn't know that was an original song. So when I put it on, it blew up, and guys were like, yo, what is this? Yeah. And there was so much pressure, so I had to go into studio to now record the actual song. So I'm telling guys, the song is a hit, yes, but it's not out. It's not even recorded. Out, yeah. It's not even recorded. Even it's out. Whoa. So people thought it was like, where's the song? Where can we get it? So I had to get all the boys in studio, like as soon as possible, recorded them. It still felt like it took forever because, you know, once the song...
It did take forever.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
You were waiting.
But for me, it's like I had to get everyone at the same time, which I finally did, recorded it, and I worked on it. Like I recorded them now, I worked on it at that like very moment and had to release it. Because, you know, I'm not sure most people do not know this, most fans, is for songs to be available on the DSPs, for you to deliver properly, you need a minimum of 2 weeks. Okay. 1 week, you're literally asking a favor, or you have to pay even. Yeah, so I had like a few days, maybe 5 days, but my publisher was gracious enough to say, okay, we understand it's a viral hit already, so we'll give you the leeway to like put it on the DSPs. And then, yeah, so it was out on DSPs finally after, I think, 2 weeks after that viral video. And yeah, the song now became what it became. And mine is a refix, which for some people who don't know, it's like redoing a song that already existed. But now the song it's a unique situation because the original song also did not exist or was not out yet. So we had to come together and say, okay, let's release a strategy, let's release the 2 songs at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And they're both doing well.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Aren't you just amazed by the power that social media has?
I know.
You know, like back then, like 10 years ago, this wasn't the case. You know?
Not
I feel
at
like
all.
right now, TikTok just moves songs like
Crazy.
no one else can.
Like crazy. Like I could not believe it. And for the longest time, I've been trying to hack TikTok. Because you see me, I'm from another generation. So I'm like, how do I hack this thing?
Showing.
Yeah, my age is showing. Well, not so much in my face. But I was really trying so much to, not so much to be honest, I was just trying to see what I can do with this platform. Sometimes I just don't give it attention. But now with that song, it just blew up and I was like, okay, now I understand how it really works, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm really thankful for social media. There were times I've really changed.
They've
like this
really
is madness. I feel like
Yeah.
I've gone through all the cycles of life now. Yeah, at my age, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an amazing song. We love it. We
Thank you.
jump to it.
Thank
We
you.
just love it.
Thank you very
know,
much. Yeah.
as we almost come to a close of this interview, I want you to tell us about the Fancy experience happening tomorrow. And guys, remember, we have questions for you on our social media handle where we are asking you about Fancy Fingers. Album, that is the love language, and the #1 question is how many songs are on the love language album. #2 is how many albums does Fancy Fingers have, and the names of the albums. Alafu, what's your favorite line from the songs of the love language album? Just answer that and you'll win yourself 2 tickets. Yako na mpoa.
Mpoa wako. Kama uko naye.
Kama una yako na beshte yako bado iko sawa.
Yes. Yeah, so the Fancy experience is going to be tomorrow at Nairobi Street Kitchen or NSK, depending on which generation you come from. Because I realize some people don't know NSK and they're like, where is that?
Yeah.
Like Nairobi Street Kitchen. Oh, okay. So Nairobi Street Kitchen tomorrow, it's the Fancy experience. It's going to be an amazing show. It's all covered. So don't be scared of the rain at all. Like, you will not be affected at all. There's ample parking for those who are driving. And it starts at 6 p.m. There'll be amazing opening acts. We have Sedo, who's an amazing producer. Sedo is actually one of the people who taught me production, by the way, from scratch.
Yeah.
We have Ben Sol, who will be there. We have Kim Life. We have Karun, who will be there. Lisodor will be there. Jerai will be there. Who am I missing? Ochiko will be there. Bananas Overdose will be there.
Vijana Barubaru.
Vijana Barubaru will be there, of course. Yeah, so it's like a whole, just really amazing acts that will be on stage. And it's called the Fancy Experience. I will be on stage for about 2 hours minimum. So it'll be a great show. Come through. Tickets on sale at fancyfingers.hustlesasa.shop. And the great thing today is there's an offer. So if you go to fancyfingers.hustlesasa.shop or just go to my Instagram on link on bio, go straight to the website, and there's a huge offer today. So please get your tickets. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's going to be a good one for sure, because that lineup is just amazing. What time does it start?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yes, 6 p.m. till late. Yeah.
Watu wa magizani wako covered.
Wako covered. Na pia watu wanaogopa mvua wako covered.
Wako covered because the place is totally covered.
Totally covered.
Mvua haitatusumbua.
Yeah.
All right. I mentioned while I was on the intro, on your intro rather.
Yes.
You are an academy member. I feel like maybe
Grammy,
most people don't really understand what that is. If you can just tell us what it means to be a Grammy Academy member. So I got to be a member last year. It's exactly 1 year now. So I'm a member of the Recording Academy, which is the academy that, or rather the how do I call it? The unit that works on the Grammys, right? And what that entails is I have the right. I'm one of the few people who can vote for, because Grammys is voting, but it's only a group of selected people who vote for the Grammys, right? And also have a say in a lot of things. The Grammy is actually coming to the continent. I'm sure you've had even the president mention. And I am part of the council for the Grammys itself coming here. So it's just an amazing thing. And it's at a time where African music is at the top. So it's perfect time.
So I can vote. I can nominate people as well for a Grammy nomination as well.
Oh.
Put forward for nomination. Let me put it that way. Yeah, so it's an amazing time, and it's only great things coming now from the continent, and I'm happy that we are at the forefront now. We've always been, in our eyes, we've been at the forefront. The world is just catching up to us. Yeah, so yeah, that's exciting stuff. Yeah.
Kenyan music, are you seeing?
Oh, 100%.
Are you seeing us in the near future winning Grammys? I know you guys have won as writers as well.
Yes.
So are we seeing our music
so much
winning
like
Grammys?
This new wave of artists, to be honest, even how you see how Kuda Day is doing, for example, and there's so much talent in Kenya right now. It's not like when us guys started when we were very few or people were scared of getting in, but now with a lot of technology advancement and just music advancement and social media, you know, people are and definitely we are there. The Grammy is not the ultimate. That's what I always say. The Grammy is not the ultimate. Just do what you need to do. People love your music. Do what you love first, and people will in return love what you do. Yeah, so I'd say that's it. So the Grammy is not the ultimate, to be honest. Just do what you do, and people, all these things come with you doing what you love and doing it at your best. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have some would you rather questions.
Okay.
Just 3 of them.
All right. Shoot.
Would you rather always say everything on your mind or have people read your mind? Would you rather always just speak everything you're thinking of, or would you rather people read your mind?
I'd rather people read my mind. Yeah.
No further questions?
No further questions.
Would you rather stay young physically or mentally?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And you know, I'm all about physical and mental.
Good,
I don't know how to separate them. But if I was to choose, I'd rather stay young. How do you stay young mentally? What does that mean?
Like your mind is not, okay, because you know you age.
Yeah.
But the more you grow, the wiser you become, I think.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where you deteriorate. Your mind you don't have good memory. Unasahau vitu ovyo ovyo, So I think staying young mentally is you are always
Oof.
on point
so
with your brains.
I want to have both, to be honest.
No, you have to pick one.
Just because I am huge on physical wellness. Yeah, I'll say mentally.
Mentally.
Yeah.
So uzeeke kabisa mwili.
But you see, also mentally cannot do without physical.
Mentally. Wow. And the last, would you rather be able to forget your worst memory or remember your best memory better?
Forget my worst. And I have like my system in a way, like I kind of block things that I really don't want to remember in my mind. It's a weird thing, but I just blocked. So I guess I'm already in that in that kind of wiring where I really don't want to remember horrible stuff that have happened. Yeah.
Bonus question. If you were to pick anyone to have dinner with, dead or alive, 2 people.
Dinner.
Yeah. 2 people, dead or alive.
Oh my goodness.
To be at your dinner table, rather.
Bob Marley and The Rock.
The Rock?
Dwayne Johnson, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I love everything about him. Since I was a kid, actually. And even now how he's evolved with time. And Will Smith, if I could add a third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through to the show. Remember, guys, we have questions on our handles, and don't know if we have people who've already tried.
Ni kama hataki ticket.
Ni kama hamtaki ticket. Sama mtenda kununua iko kwa offer. You're being given for free here, and you want to go for the offer. It's okay. It's okay. It's good to be rich. Anyway, just to remind you the questions one more time, we'll look at it before we end the show, and we'll have 3 winners. That is, how many songs are on the Love Language album? How many albums does Fancy Fingers have? And you can name them. Alafu, your favorite line from the song on the Love Language album. We'll go through your feedback before the show ends, and then 3 winners. We'll have 3 winners from this particular quiz that we've given you, and then sasa each person will get a pair of the tickets. Musiache hizi tickets ziende. Otherwise mimi nitajibu na nitapata ticket.
Ukuja na watu wako wa mtaa.
Ni bebe genge yangu. Thank you so much, Fancy Fingers, for coming through to the show. We really appreciate that you made time for us, and you've given us all your time today to just get to converse with you. I could have given more, but the show is about to end, so it's fine. So yeah, and all the best. And
thank you very much.
I cannot wait for tomorrow's show.
Yes, I can't wait either. It's going to be really something. Yeah, I'm excited.
You want to speak to your people, parting shot?
Yeah, parting shot, man. Guys, thank you so much for your love always from the beginning of Sauti up until now. And tomorrow I have a concert, The Fancy Experience, at Nairobi Street Kitchen. Please come through, and yeah, let's be on this journey together. Mad love to you all.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was a Fancy Fingers. I'm sure that you guys have enjoyed this interview just as much as I have. Don't you go too far. Good Morning Kenya Entertainment Thursday continues.